Hey everybody, this is Stelly after with Closeout, and today I want to talk about successfully offboarding a sales rep that is leaving your team. So I got an email this morning from somebody that said, "Hey, Stelly, I have a difficult topic in question. I'd love for you to record a blog or video and share your thoughts and your experiences with kind of the bigger community out there. I'm parting ways with a sales rep. How do I do this well?" And I thought this is actually a really, really valuable question. So I oblige in recording this to share my advice with everyone out there that might have this situation. I'll go through two specific scenarios. One is when you have a good, healthy relationship in your parting ways versus when you have maybe a toxic or a bad relationship with a rep and you're parting ways, maybe less voluntarily on the rep side, right? So those are very different scenarios, so we'll treat them a little bit differently. So in general, how do you successfully offboard a sales rep you have a good relationship with? Let's start with the good relationship and then the bad one. Um, well, the hopefully you've done all the prior work that the offboarding is not a surprise, meaning that the relationship is so good between you and the rep that when the rep is thinking of leaving, those conversations start early. They're not a surprise. If there's a surprise, if you thought everything is going well and then the rep shows up one day and tells you, "Hey, this isn't working, I'm leaving tomorrow, I have a new gig," then it's not time to try to fix the situation. You might try to go for understanding first to truly figure out what happened, what did I miss, right? What's kind of the delta X between what I thought our relationship was and what it truly is, and see if you can rectify it. But in many cases, it might be too late, but at least you can learn from it to do better in the future, right? You obviously have done a poor job as a manager to really know what's going on in your team's life and to create a sense of trust and transparency for people to share if they have concerns or if they have hesitations or if they're thinking about something else early on, right? So ideally, if you have a good relationship with a rep, you already knew that this was coming. There was a build-up, there was a discussion, and both parties truly eventually either agreed that this is the right thing or at least knew it was coming, and it came kind of gradually in full transparency for both sides. That happened. There's really two main, there's three priorities that you have in mind, right? One is treating the rep well. To me, it's these difficult situations that really prove and build the relationship for the long term, and where you can shine and display your true colors, right? A lot of times where people are leaving you, you become all selfish. You think just about yourself, your business, your team, your customers, your leads, and you don't care about that person anymore that much, right? So you try to selfishly manipulate them into doing what's in your best interest, regardless of what's the best interest of theirs. I would urge you to fight that and to truly ask yourself, how can I make sure that I do well by that person, by that rep? How do I make sure that I help them in this transition and I help them succeed with whatever they're doing next? And how can I ensure that this is a moment that makes this person truly bond even stronger and maybe create an opportunity down the line to work together again? So ask yourself how to help them in this transition time. Don't just ask yourself how they can help you. That's one. The next thing is obviously, once you figure out how to help them, now you do need to figure out how they can help you, and you have to have an honest conversation about that and figure out, okay, how can the person help you in making sure that the team knows about this, feels good about it, and the team is prepared and has all the information and the necessary tools to take over the work that rep has done to service the customers well. So in my mind, it's the rep, it's the team, it's the customers, right? So that's kind of what you need to figure out. How do I help this rep or this person? How do I help my team? And how can this rep help my team to take over the work and run with it and do well? And then how do we service our customers? Because that is really the way this is going to happen, right? The rep has the ball, has to throw it to your team. The team needs to be prepared to catch the ball and then throw it to the customer and deliver for the customers. you can do this top down or bottom up, right? You can ask yourself, what do my customers need? What does my team need to be able to deliver it for them? What do I need from the rep so that my team can actually do the work that's necessary? But you have to ask yourself all three questions, right? And then you have to work with the rep, the team together to come up with an offboarding plan or an onboarding plan for a new rep for these customers, for the work that this rep was doing, in a kind of healthy way and in a mindful way. And you need to pitch the sales rep on the importance that if we treat you really well right now, and if you treat us really well right now, this relationship is going to be for life. In future jobs, when people get in touch with us to ask about you and get a referral or a reference, we're going to be talking in very high terms about you. In the future, when you want to raise money and start your own business, I might be an angel investor for you and help you get investors. Like, this relationship, this professional relationship, is not over. It can continue on for life and pay dividends if we both sides do the right things and treat each other well and with respect. And that typically works really, really well. So a few questions that this founder included that I want to quickly run through, and then we'll go to the worst case or bad case scenario, right? How do you take all leads a rep is working on and hand them over to a new rep? You have to be careful about this, but if it's in the very early stages, it's never super smooth. So you just have to be comfortable with that. But you could just have the rep email some of the earlier prospects they're talking to and say, hey, the company and I have decided to part ways. It's very amicable. We both are still friends and fans of each other. I wanted to actually connect you with this rep that is, and now you have to sell the rep, right? I wanted to connect you to Mary or Bob or whoever who is our most senior, sales rep, who is our most experienced sales rep, who is our most tenured sales rep, who's our most innovative and excited sales rep. If it's a young and early rep, whatever it is, you need to sell that this rep is actually as awesome as I am, if not much more awesome, right? Because the prospect obviously is going to be a little insecure. Oh shit, there's somebody leaving and they're just handing me off to somebody. You can't just say, now Bob is your new rep, or now Mary is your new rep. Good luck, right? Who the hell is Mary, right? So you need the rep to pitch the new rep and really sell them. And you should actually do the work of like writing this up for them. And then Mary or Bob or whoever the rep is that's taking over needs to have an introduction email already ready that says, hey, I'm super psyched. I sat down with, your past rep. He gave me all the information about you. He highlighted these things that are really important for you. Let me introduce myself properly. Here's who I am. Here's why I'm going to be the best person working with you. And here's what I would propose as next steps, right? To make that transition really smooth and really invest in the relationship. Next question, how do you handle customers this rep won in the past, right? So this sales rep probably won a bunch of customers. These customers may be getting in touch with the rep once in a while, even if you have a success team. How do we handle that transition? Again, if somebody won really big strategic accounts, then you would want to do the same thing. You want the rep to send them an email that you've crafted and designed, explaining why he or she is departing, explaining how good the relationship is, how much the rep still believes in the company and the purpose and the product, and hand off, hey, here's a rep or success manager that's going to be responsible to take care of you. Here's why this person is amazing. And then that account manager or success manager is responding, introducing themselves properly, and suggesting next steps. If the rep has too many accounts or too many leads to do that one-on-one kind of transition, then you do the 80-20 rule and you just ask yourself, what are the biggest or the most important accounts where we need to have an incredibly smooth transition? And you do that for those. And for all of the other ones, you do something more automated where another rep just takes over, like pings them emails or calls them and says, hey, I know that you were talking to Bob from our team, but I'm actually taking over. Here's why, yada, yada, yada. Or, for past customers, you just have an autoresponder that you write. Anytime they want to get in touch with that rep, it says, hey, again, same story basically. Hey, I'm not with the team anymore. Great that you're getting in touch. Here's Bob, he's now responsible for you. Here's why he or she's, awesome. And then you have the handoff and you have somebody that's monitoring their email account. and their phone number. So you can have like an email forward or a phone number forward, so that any person that's trying to get, any prospect or customer that's trying to get in touch with you can get in, can get routed to the right rep, but the rep doesn't have to proactively email or call thousands of people. Again, if some of these accounts are really big, really strategically important, you might not just do an email, you actually might do a call where the whole purpose is that Bob is scheduling the call to introduce Mary and say, hey, I wanted to inform you guys, I'm moving on. Here's why I still believe in the team and the product. Here's why this is not going to affect you at all. And here's Mary, I wanted to introduce her. She's amazing because of X, Y, Z. She's going to be taking over from now. And then Mary can introduce herself and kind of take the ball and run with it. But that's a level of effort you're only going to do for your most important, your biggest, the most strategic accounts. Okay, next and last question. How do you get all the knowledge from the rep, right? So, well, you won't get all the knowledge, but one thing that you really want to do is you really want to do a pipeline audit, and you want to do a most important account CRM audit, right? So a data audit. So what you do is you sit down and you want to do three things: pipeline audit, CRM audit for the most important accounts, and then you want to do a working relationship post-mortem, right? So on the pipeline audit, all you do is you sit down with the rep for an hour or two, you look at their entire pipeline, and you have them give you details on what the stages of the deal, what needs to happen next. Ideally, you have the rep that's taking over with you. Ideally, you record the entire session because there's probably going to be a ton of stuff, and you take notes, and you are updating the CRM with all the information, right? Your closeout account with all the info. But you go through it maybe in a whiteboard session or something along those lines, and you really talk about step by step every deal in the pipeline, what needs to happen next, what hasn't happened, what the stage is. You have the new rep. You look at the data, ask questions, make notes, you record everything so you have a good idea of what is the current state of the pipeline of this rep and what needs to happen next. You do a CRM audit, and this is something you should do, again, probably just for the most important accounts, but for the top accounts, you really want to have your sales manager, you as a founder, and the rep that's taking over go through the most important accounts and ask questions to the rep and make sure that the notes are there, that the CRM is up to date and all the data is really accurate, at least for the most important accounts. The third thing you want to do as a founder is maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks after the rep has left the company, is schedule a dinner or lunch or breakfast or a coffee meeting, or if the person is moving, countries or cities, you might just want to do a Zoom virtual coffee meeting and do a post-mortem where you just do a, hey, now that a little bit of time had passed, what are things you think that we did wrong? What are things that you really think the sales team should do better? How did I do as a founder or manager? What could I do better for future employees? And just learn from them honestly, ask them for really critical feedback and learn from them. All right, so that's it on the, when things are going well. I'm going to do a really quick rundown on when things go bad. I mean, the basic structure of everything I said is still true, but obviously you're probably going to have to run through this much faster. When the relationship is toxic and you decide that you need to move on, you want to sit down, have that conversation with your rep, and have crystal clarity on what the next steps are and take those steps very quickly. You can't do this over, maybe with a rep that you have a strong relationship with, you might do this over a period of 2 to 4 weeks, right? Really transition off smoothly. With a rep that you don't have that good of a relationship with, you might just want to do that, or you probably want to do that within a day, right? So you sit down, you tell them what's going to happen. You should have done the prep work before, maybe a day or two before, of actually sitting down and doing an audit with the rep, trying to understand what's really going on in your pipeline, trying to understand what's really going on in your CRM, talking to the rep, about being really unhappy about how things are going, and then telling them finally that your decision is to part ways. The moment you decide to part ways with a rep that you have a non-trusting relationship or a bad relationship with, while that conversation is going on, somebody on the team needs to disconnect their account. Their email account needs to be shifted over to somebody else. Their CRM account, their access to all kinds of company-related information needs to be shifted over. It's an uncomfortable thing to do, but it's important to protect the business. And you basically need to do some of these things, but you won't be able to do them smoothly, right? So the rep is not going to introduce the other person and this and that. So what you do is you basically try to get an audit before you part ways. You sit down, part ways, disconnect all accounts, and give them over to the new rep or the person that's taking over. And then what you want to do is you want to do the same thing that I described prior, where for the most important accounts, you do the handoff, but you really want to do that from a management or founding perspective. So because the rep is not around and you didn't have a good relationship with the rep, what you do is as the founder or maybe as the VP of sales or the sales leader, you introduce the new rep. You go, hey, dear prospect, I know that you were talking to Bob. Bob has parted ways with us. We wish him nothing but success. I personally took an interest in your account. I think you're an amazing business. We really want to do well by you. So I'm connecting you with Mary, who's our most senior account executive. She's the best sales rep we have. You are in the best hands possible. You really, really sell her. Me and her would like to jump on a call to talk about the transition and anything you need to make this still happen. And you basically take over for the role of the rep and introduce and do the handoff in the most strategically important accounts, and everything else is just a transfer with an automatic message that says, hey, Bob isn't here anymore, but here's who I am, here's why I'm the best person for you to speak with, and let's jump on a call and take it from here. And that's pretty much it. And you still want to do a postmortem, but you may or may not want to interview the person that you decided to fire. You may want to do a postmortem with a team that hired that person to be like, what did we do wrong in the hiring, the job description, the first week, the second week? Why did it take us so long to decide to part ways? What can we learn from this? What can we do better? Learn and move on. Transitions are always tough when you have to hand off a prospect or a customer from one person to build a relationship with to another. But the best way to do them is to do them swiftly, to do them with clarity, and to do them with a high level of transparency and integrity whenever possible, and with a degree of realizing that you can't just do a lazy handover that says, autoresponder, Bob isn't working here anymore. If you need anything, email support at. That's a really terrible, terrible handover. Or a Bob isn't here anymore. Mary's now your new rep. Get in touch with her, or if you need anything. Like that's a very bad experience for the customer. You need to explain what happened and why Bob is transitioning in a good way. When that's true, you need to introduce Mary and why she is amazing. You need to have Mary then have an automated follow-up that introduces herself properly and suggests the first step to build the relationship. All right, I hope this was useful and helpful. If you have any questions, as always, send me one at stelly@close.io. Always happy to hear your questions. And if you haven't done that yet, go to blog.close.io. Make sure to subscribe to our blog. We publish the best sales content that's out there. Until next time, let's go and get them.